Lewis Hamilton didn't come to Maranello to finish 6th. Yet after the Canadian Grand Prix, that's exactly where he found himself. Once again far from the podium, once again forced to face a Ferrari that doesn't deliver on its promises. But this time, the 7-time world champion didn't bite his tongue. With sharp statements, criticized strategies, and an increasingly firm tone, Hamilton sent a clear message. Things cannot continue this way. The atmosphere in the Ferrari garage has become tense. Hamilton has started to apply pressure that few team principals could manage. Fred Vasseur, already under scrutiny for Ferrari's inconsistent performances, now finds himself caught between the expectations of the most decorated driver in history and a car that simply isn't good enough. The most painful point? The complete lack of updates in Canada. While other teams brought technical innovations to Montreal, Ferrari showed up with an identical package to the one used in Barcelona. Hamilton, visibly surprised, made it unmistakably clear that he hadn't even been informed of any potential upgrades. "We didn't bring anything," he said after the race, revealing disbelief and frustration. But there's more. Hamilton doesn't just want upgrades, he wants vision. And now, publicly, he is demanding that Ferrari start thinking seriously about 2026. According to him, continuing to develop the SF25 is a mistake. The championship is already lost, for both drivers and constructors. And continuing to pour resources into a car that was flawed from the beginning means compromising the future as well. His reasoning is simple and ruthless. If we truly want to fight in 2026, we have to lay the groundwork now. The message is clear. No more quick fixes, no more illusions. What's needed is a serious, ambitious project that starts now. And if the team isn't ready to listen to him, Hamilton will raise his voice even more. In the meantime, there is the present. And the present is made up of questionable strategies, uncertain communication, and a management approach that, according to the driver himself, lacks responsiveness and vision. In Montreal, Hamilton found himself in no man's land after a pit stop that he called completely wrong over the team radio. Neither ahead nor behind, just turning laps with no one around. This isn't an isolated case. Charles Leclerc also fell victim to inexplicable strategic decisions. But while the Monegasque still seems to hold back in his criticisms, Hamilton has stopped being diplomatic. His post-race comments were sharp. "There are a lot of things I'd like to say, but I can't. I'm trying to be an agent of change. And again, I challenge the engineers every day. They say, we've always done it this way. And I respond, what if we tried something different?" The message is clear. Ferrari's mentality, in his view, is stuck in the past. It takes courage, it takes flexibility. It takes listening to the person who drives the car every weekend. And unfortunately, the numbers back him up. For the first time in his career, Hamilton has completed the first 10 races of a season without a single podium in a main race, excluding sprints. And while he struggles to stay afloat with Ferrari, his replacement at Mercedes, the young Antonelli, has already claimed a pole position and a podium. A painful fact, one that plants doubts even in the most optimistic minds. The question lingers, did Hamilton make a mistake in choosing Ferrari? The adaptation to the new environment has been slow and difficult. Even communication with his race engineer has been problematic. If in Australia they seem to be speaking two different languages, the situation has improved slightly, but there are still visible tensions. And when Hamilton says that he has to change his driving style to adapt to the SF25, it's clear that there's no harmony between man and machine. In Canada, the car's shortcomings became glaringly obvious. "I've never had a car with so much understeer at low speed," he said. "At turn 2 and turn 10, it just wouldn't turn." A statement that sounds like a verdict and leaves little room for optimism about the upcoming races. Even more worrying, perhaps, is that Hamilton stated clearly the car was well set up. There are no more excuses. It's not a setup issue. The problem is the car, the strategy, and the overall technical direction. Hamilton is not the type to stay quiet when things go wrong. And if there were still any doubts about his determination to shake Ferrari to its core, the Canadian weekend wiped them away. For the first time, the 7-time world champion publicly showed signs of impatience, exasperation, even disillusionment, and that's never a good sign for anyone leading a team. The core issue remains the same: communication and listening. According to some internal sources, Hamilton doesn't feel like the engineers are truly listening to him. His feedback is recorded but not applied. His requests are analyzed but not implemented. A dynamic which, in Formula One, is pure poison. Because when a driver loses faith in the team's responsiveness, the synergy breaks down. And without synergy, nothing can be won. The real danger is that Ferrari might be underestimating the destructive potential of a deep yet silent internal crisis. If Hamilton, one of the most influential drivers in the paddock, starts losing faith in the project, the damage goes far beyond results on the track. It hits the team's image, its credibility, and its ability to attract sponsors and young talents. To make matters worse, there's the unsettling awareness that 2025 is already a lost season. Hamilton himself has admitted this. The only goal now is to adapt, to become familiar with the things that will carry over into 2026. Engine behavior, tire management, and how the car responds to different setups. Small pieces that, if learned properly now, could be the difference between another wasted year and a true rebirth. But time is running out, and the answers are taking too long. Fred Vasseur, under growing pressure, now finds himself at a dangerous crossroads. Either he listens to Hamilton and completely rethinks internal priorities, or he risks losing his star driver before the 2026 project even really begins. The pressure, in fact, is coming from all directions. Not just from the drivers, but also from John Elkann, the ownership, and increasingly critical media outlets. The lack of a clear long-term plan is fueling a widespread feeling of confusion. Even the few improvements, like faster pit stops, are being overshadowed by the repeated, embarrassing strategic errors. Just look at what happened with Leclerc in Montreal. When the driver suggested Plan C over the radio based on his reading of tire degradation, the team completely ignored him and fitted hard tires again. The result? End of any podium hopes. Yet another missed opportunity with no plausible explanation. Now imagine if Red Bull treated Verstappen the same way. If they ignored his input, his instincts, his calculations, it would be chaos. But at Ferrari, it seems like a routine, a way of working that's been accepted and normalized. And this is exactly what Hamilton is trying to dismantle: systemic mediocrity. His fight isn't only technical, it's cultural. He's trying to change the DNA of the team, to bring a winning standard into an environment that, in recent years, has drifted between confusion and regret. And if that means being uncomfortable, confrontational, direct, then so be it. Many are wondering if he made the right choice by leaving Mercedes. And the truth is, no one can say yet. But one thing is certain: Hamilton didn't come to Ferrari to simply show up. He came to win, to rewrite history. And if today he finds himself stuck in a technical and strategic nightmare, perhaps tomorrow he'll be the one to wake the team up from it. The time for words is over. Now it's time for action. Real updates, thought-out strategies, transparent communication, a top-team mentality, not that of a resigned outsider. Because if even Hamilton can't change Ferrari, then who can? Given this scenario, the final question is inevitable. Should Ferrari keep investing in the SF25 and hope for a few miracles at the end of the season? Or should they turn the page right now and go all in on a competitive 2026? The answer might already come in the next few races. But if there's one thing Montreal has taught us, it's that Hamilton will not sit quietly and wait. And if Ferrari isn't ready to follow him, then he'll drag them forward, even against their own inertia. Thank you for staying with us until the end. If you're also disappointed with Ferrari's current situation, or believe Hamilton is right to shake up the team, tell us in the comments. We want to hear your thoughts. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to catch all the latest updates and exclusive insights. And most importantly, click on the video now appearing on your screen. It will take you even deeper behind the scenes of this critical moment for the Scuderia.